To this short video on AirBill Analyzer. In this short video, I'll show you how to assign phones and subscription numbers to your organization structure, such as divisions and departments, how you can report on that, and how you can make changes. So let's log in. I'm going to log in today to a demonstration system, and this demo customer has got both mobile and fixed, as you can see, with Air. And I'm going to pick the fixed system here. So we've got an aggregate view here of both, with the bill totaling up, adding up both mobile and fixed. So I'm going to go into the fixed system, landline, or fixed. And this is the dashboard you might be familiar with if you're already an existing fixed line customer. So I'm going to jump straight into analytics and show you a report to start with. And the report in here I want to show you is by organization level. So in here, we can decide what level we want to report on. So it starts off on major account, if you have one of those. So I'm going to just select refine here and filters and go down to organization level, just to show you what you can report on. So we've got Air's major account, then you have your accounts, location, department and cost center. Some of this information is reserved and taken from the billing data that we receive from your Air bills. So for example, if I select account, which is all the accounts that this demo customer has, apply that, that'll run for the current bill month. And by the way, you can go back to previous months, as you can see here. It'll retain up to 12 months of your billing data. So for example, this is the report showing you all of the accounts you have with Air. So there's a good whatever there is, over a dozen there. And you can see the most costly one is that particular account number. And you can see on that it's composed of €35 of usage. And then the recurring, which is made up of rentals and the bundles, whatever you have, is 161 on that account. There could be several telephone numbers assigned to that account, or there could just be one. Really depends. So if you want to report on more than just that, so you'll get that from your Air bill. That's already set up for you. But if you want to reflect your own organization and group it into your own cost centers and departments, you have an option to report on, say here, department, for example. I'll just show you. So this will be blank if you've only recently started to use AirBill Analyzer, like this. It's unassigned. So there's a free organization level for you to use called department, where you can assign phones and subscriber numbers into that, into departments that you make up, such as like IT, admin, finance department, etc. So you can create those, and I'll show you how you can do that. And then, of course, you can report on that. So when you go to rerun these reports, after you've assigned the phones to the various departments, you'll then start to see one line for each department, totaling up the number of phones you've assigned or your colleagues have assigned into that department, which might make it a bit more reflective of your organization. Okay, so same applies for cost center. There'll obviously be, unless it's ones you previously set up, that'll also be a blank template to start with, like this. So I'm going to jump straight into setup and down to directory administration. And this is how you can assign the your cost centers and departments, as you can see maybe already, to the subscriber telephone numbers. So there's a snapshot here on the top showing you how the database currently looks like. So an example here would be the top one here, top row. This 014 number, the name Eric Dyer, the account number, the Air account number is 375, etc. The location is again picked up from the bill, which is, it's calculated, it's in Dublin Central. And then here's a couple we've prepared earlier. So I've already assigned that to cost center 123456, and the phone is assigned to the sales department. Okay. So if I want to go and add to that, I have two choices, or two options. Option one is edit multiple subscribers using spreadsheet. So step one is you download it. Step two, make your change. Step three, upload it. And then it's reflected here, as you see in brackets. Changes will be applied to billing data loaded in future only. Option two is to do it online, one by one. So that's the edit as a single subscriber option. So I'll show you what we mean here. So we'll pick maybe make it up, any 01 number. This is 013 also, it doesn't matter about the name. Search for that, and I'll select select that number. So it already comes up with the pre-populated reserved information. You cannot change the account number because that's assigned by Air to you. It does not have a major account. Larger customers and government and corporates will have a major account. It doesn't have one. And in this case, you can change the name. If you want to make it more specific, like Pearse Street, O'Connell Street, you can do. Otherwise, it just picks up the generic telephony grouping of Dublin Central. Here's where I can change it. I can go, as I say, I can assign that to this department. 1, 2, 3, all the 4s. And I can assign that to, as you can see here, the stores. Make it up. Department. I'm just making this up as an example. I save that. And that's then available for me to run a report on. So as soon as I start processing billing data, I can run reports. I can go back to that original report I showed you by organization level. And then when I select department and cost center, as soon as the next bill run is done, I start to see some rows populated and bars in the chart populated in that report. So that's one reason why you might want to assign that to your cost centers and departments in your own organization. There is another thing you can do as well. If you feel you want to add more levels, you can add another 5. There's 10 in total, so there's a few reserved here. We've got account, major account, location, cost center, and department. You can add another 5. So to do that, I just need to go to Setup, down to the next option, Departments, and I can add a new level. So here, you already have level 1 is account, 2 is major account, 3 is location, 4 is cost center, and 5 is department. And you can see here on the text above here in the header, the following organization levels are reserved by the system, major account and account. So I can add a new one or play around with the current ones I can do, like the cost center and department. But I might just pick one called manager, for example. It's quite popular. Companies would assign phones to managers. I can decide, do I want that to be free text, which means allow the user to type in the word, sales, finance, etc. Or I can get them to pick, or the manager, I should say, Mr. Smith, Miss O'Reilly, etc. Or I can pre-select, provide an option to pick from a list where I'll populate the list with all the managers, and they can only pick from a drop-down list if they want to run reports, or when I come to it now in a minute, how to assign users and restrict them to managers or departments or cost centers. Okay. So I'll just pick free and visible, so it's available. You can even decide, do you want it to have a drill down, and then even the order of the drill down. So currently it's set up that there's a drill down for major account to location, and then all the way down to, don't include that. The include is right down from account. You can drill down into department and then drill down into cost center. So you can decide whether you want it to be hierarchical or not, or just a flat level. Save that. And then if I go back into where I was a minute ago, directory administration, I can see that, hopefully, there we go. The manager field is now available for me to populate. Via spreadsheet, that's how you do one by one. Via spreadsheet for multiple edits and uploads, you can select this option and just see if the option of the spreadsheet is already, just to save time. Here it is. Hopefully you can see this on the video. I have a spreadsheet now downloaded, and in here it's got information on the same information snapshot you saw on the online system: the subscriber number, description, account, location, cost center, and department. And then manager would appear here as well. I just did this one earlier. So as you can see here, I've done some already. You can type away, make your changes, save the spreadsheet, and then when you're finished, step 3 is upload the modified spreadsheet, select the file, and away you go, upload that into the system. And when that's complete, you'll get a message to say it's completed. If there's an error, it'll tell you where the error is. And then, as I said earlier, once we've started to process new billing information, that will update and be available in the report. Just to remind you, back in analytics, by organization level, that was the report that we showed you earlier. Okay, so then you'll be able to see the extra levels and what you've populated there. So refine, organizational level, and you can select from, there's now manager, as you can see here, you can select that, okay, and apply whichever one you want, and you will be able to see at the next bill run. If I remember correctly, I put in cost center 44444 and 12345, etc. Okay, it's that straightforward. So the last thing to show you is setting up users and applying those restrictions. You can now apply your organizational level restrictions to other users if you want them to access Erbil Analyzer. We can select here People, and I can select, for example, Create User, and what level you use it. There's 3 types. Enterprise Admin is the same level as you are, which is access to everything, report on everything, all the accounts. A group level user is a manager, which you might want to apply a restriction, as I mentioned a minute ago, or an end user if you want to restrict them to just one phone. So for this example, I show you the group level user. Again, another video will cover this, but look, you can understand this quite easily. You need to fill in their compulsory information here, such as their email address, password, and then basic information, John O'Shea, and you don't have to fill in the mobile number. And then finally, you need to select account, must change password at next login, and send notification email to user. Apply the restriction. So here's your choice. How do you want to restrict them by? You can do it by account or account number, several. Locations, you saw that earlier. Departments, here you go here. Here's the ones we created earlier. I can say I just want the IT manager to see this, or I can say he's also, don't know why, looks after the stores, but you can have him look after, him or her, when they log in, will be able to view all the phones that you assigned earlier to IT in stores. You could have done the same for accounts, as I mentioned. You can select a range by shift and click or control and click this and add that. Or you could do cost center, same idea. I think you get the idea here really. And your new one, manager. I had one there, Mr. Smith, Miss O'Brien, etc. And that's it, pretty much. Select create. The new group level user or manager will receive an email from the system, and when they log into Erbil Analyzer, they'll only be able to see the cost centers or levels that you gave them access to. And that is the short video on how to assign and create organization levels and assign phones to those levels. For other videos, please look out for the overview, how to run reports, and how to view my email. Thank you and goodbye.